Hi, and welcome to the Music Share Young Artist program series, ViewPoint. Today, I have the honor and pleasure to talk with Mark Peskanov, whom I've known since my years at the Aspen Festival. Mark was born in Odessa, Ukraine, and was a star student at the famed Stolyarsky School for Gifted Children. I hope I said that okay. At 15, at 15, he immigrated to the US and was immediately accepted to the Aspen Music Festival and the Juilliard School, where, after winning competitions, he was brought to the attention of Isaac Stern and Rostropovich. He has performed concertos with virtually every major US orchestra in Europe as well, the Middle East, Australia, South America, Japan. He's been around. His major accolades include the Avery Fischer Career Grant and the first Frederick R. Mann Award, as well as Carnegie Hall's first Isaac Stern Award. Since 2005, he is a president and artistic art executive director of Bargemusic, which is spoken of as New York City's floating concert hall. The hall is located, or moored, as they say, at the Fulton Ferry landing under the Brooklyn Bridge.
As you're speaking right now, I hope it's still moored. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
As the artistic director, Mark has curated over 3,000 chamber concerts at Bargemusic and presents over 200 concerts annually to New York audiences. So
not lately, but hopefully will resume very soon. Yes.
Well, I guess you could say that Bargemusic is really a part of New York City's hopefully future cultural.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, but we have strong faith in that. Yes.
So, welcome, Mr. Mark.
Thank you, Bill. I have to just say one thing. I remember you so well at Aspen. It was such a great pleasure. You were sitting. We were sitting in the orchestra. You were sitting in the first stand. And as I recall, and you sounded so beautiful. You had the most beautiful tone. I always remember you had this beautiful, sweet tone. That's how I remember you. And you always had a beautiful smile. That's how I remember you.
Well, listen, that's so.
And then I remember, you know what else I remember? God, then I remember something was broken somewhere, like a leg or something. There was some kind of accident.
Oh, that! Oh my goodness!
And I remember that. And God, and that was just horrible. But you were playing like nothing happened. You were doing your thing, And you always brought the most beautiful, loving energy and to everybody who played on that stage in the tent. And tent was pretty rough place. Could have been once in a while. But and we had different conductors, and who were doing their thing. I mean, I was too young to remember exactly what they were doing, other than some of them were a little bit, once in a while, a little grumpy, a little bit moody. But you were there with your smile and playing, and everybody just looked at you, say, "Oh, we love Bill." Everybody loved you.
Oh, well,
as I recall, I remember very well.
Well, thank you. I remember too, when I was in a lesson with Miss DeLay, and she was teaching me, but all of a sudden, I couldn't take it. I looked at Miss DeLay and I said, "Miss DeLay, who is that next door?" Because somebody next door was just playing away, and really going at it. And Miss DeLay smiled and said, "Oh, Billy, that's Mark. He was sick last week, and he's just so happy to be playing." That's how. Oh no, I remember. Oh, I remember as well playing in a Beethoven triple that you played in with your brother Alex, and Yo-Yo Ma. And I remember.
That was our first. We took first try at that. I remember.
Oh,
yes, I remember.
Yes, I remember playing in the viola section.
Oh wow! Oh, so you oh, that's so nice that you did that. See, that was because I remember we did this just before we played this at Kennedy Center with Rostropovich conducting. when we
Wow.
did that. It was our debut. Oh, it's so nice. I remember it was, yeah, we got this together and did it. That was fun. We had some. Listen, I used to love Aspen so much, but I remember I have those great memories, and you're in them. And then I remember your quartet, how you played. That was wonderful time,
Well,
very special.
speaking about Aspen back in those days, coming from where you came from, what was it like? What was the change
Well,
like?
I tell you, it was, first of all, it was the first time in my life that I was away. I was all by myself. I was away from my parents, because we all immigrated together, my parents and my brother. And so that was the first 9 weeks of my life that I was away from them. And so I remember I came on a bus from Denver. I think we took this bus, ride from Denver to Aspen, and Miss DeLay was at that. She was at that bus, on that bus, and as we were, getting off the bus, she fell on me. As we were on the bus. And there was I on the ground, and she was on top of me. I tell you, it was a funny scene. And I did not speak English at all. So I couldn't tell her, oh, Miss DeLay, it's such a pleasure. Or I couldn't tell her, Miss DeLay, get off me. I couldn't do any of it. That was the funniest thing. I tell you. That was my debut. So that was our encounter. But I met her before, several months before, because I remember I played like an audition for Isaac Stern. Somebody arranged it because when we just immigrated, when we just got here to New York, um, uh, I think we played a benefit concert because we were refugee. We came as refugee. We were invited by the United States government. I think it was the time when they were having some negotiation. They were giving wheat, to the Soviet Union. And Soviet Union was giving them some Jews. So there were the wheat and Jews, and so it was certainly was good deal for us. So we and we were waiting. I
I'm sorry.
remember
I'm sorry. What year was that?
that was 73.
Cool.
That was 1973, and so that was, I remember it was March 6th. I remember very well when we arrived to the Kennedy Airport, and we were put into we got into this Breton Hall hotel on 86th Street on Broadway. And I remember I've had the most wonderful time because I came in and I thought, wow, I don't have to probably even there is probably, you don't have to turn on the light. All you have to do in America, you have to just think of it. It will just come out. I mean, that's what I thought of it being in America, in the beginning United States. And so I'm thinking about nothing's happening. And I was kind of, not too disappointed, because I had total faith, there will be other great miracles happening. So, I kind of, found, like a switch, like, I had in Soviet Union kind of turn on the switch, it went on, the lights went on. So, okay, that's fine, but I'm sure there's going to be other things. So, turn on the lights was a little kitchen there, and go there, and I said, oh, look at all of those toys on the floor. It was the cockroaches. And I thought, they must be mechanical. So I started picking them up because I really believe it was the toys.
Tell
What
me,
can I tell you?
when you first came, how much English did you speak?
I don't think I spoke any English at all because what happened was we stayed for 1 month in Rome, awaiting as refugees. Was a lot of refugees that came from Eastern Europe at that time. Some refugees, not a lot, just some refugees were coming at that time. And we were staying in Rome, and then different countries maybe would consider to take some of us, to give us chance to become citizens, in the country. Like they were Australia, they were maybe in Europe, United States and Canada. United States that's where we want to go because we want to study at the Juilliard. And our teachers in Soviet Union said, listen, when you come there, make sure you go to the Juilliard. You have to study at the Juilliard. So when we were there for about several weeks, there were some kind of a manager from Romania, and they wanted to show, look, we're bringing some, gifted people. We wanted the authorities to know in Italy, and I think this Italian organization, it was Hayas, it was a Jewish organization, but it was in Italy, as well. So those people wanted to show, look, we're bringing some talented people. There were like 7 violinists at the time. I was the youngest, and my brother was the only pianist. And so they put on some kind of a concert, and so we all played at that concert, and it was the consulate from United States, the consul, and many people, prime culture minister from Minister of Culture of Italy, and other dignitaries were at that concert. And somehow it was a very, very successful concert. And Italian audience, in Rome, they are they're amazing, but they really like you. It's amazing. It's like probably anywhere else, like here, like in Mexico, like like anywhere else. Anyway, so it was everybody had great time. It was very, very special. And I think 2 days later, we were on the plane going to the United States.
Wow.
After that concert, there were another concert. There were some Italian quartet. Somebody got sick, and they asked us to do in Palazzo Brasco. I remember this name, and we did like a substitute concert for them. We just did a concert. It was just incredible. It's several days. It just happened during that month, because usually people would stay in Italy maybe for a year, 6 months before they decide where they might be sent or something. Anyway, then later on, we found out that we had a letter that came from Minister of Culture of Italy, who wanted very much us to stay in Italy. We did not know that.
Wow.
We were already on the plane. They never showed us that. We were on the plane coming here and did like a benefit concert at Roosevelt Hotel, like 5 days upon our arrival. It was the 89th anniversary of Hayas, and I think we raised like, I don't know, maybe $3 million. That was pretty good. The concert. So it was quite an ordeal. It was the most amazing experience. It was surrealistic, completely. But I just loved it so much. The whole experience. I felt so free coming to the United States. And when I come to Aspen and just being there and seeing all these mountains, and for the first time being away, my parents and everything. At first I missed them, and then after a few weeks, I forgot about it. And by the 9th week, actually, I was late for my plane.
Wow.
I missed my plane. So it just shows, how.
So listen, you said that you played the Beethoven Triple with Rostropovich conducting?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
That was with Yoya, my brother, and each of us did. I did Wieniawski F sharp minor concerto in the first half. Yoyo did Saint-Saëns concerto. My brother did E flat Liszt concerto. And then after the intermission, we did Beethoven Triple, and we did 4 times in a row. And that was really something.
Wow. Wow.
That was our debut. Yeah, it was great here. Yeah.
What was it like working with Rostropovich?
Well, it was kind of a complicated. It was amazing. He was such a such an incredible legend figure. I remember once in Odessa Philharmonic, I heard his concert. All the doors were open because there were so many people. I was outside, standing, and there were this man, sitting on some kind of a throne, this big throne. The cellist, his was very, very tall, I thought. And he was playing, and I thought it was just amazing. Everybody had this incredible reaction, and so, and here, of course, he was such a legend of a musician. So, I remember playing for him audition with my brother. We played Prokofiev F minor sonata. We played all the 4 movements, and after that, the same day he called us and said, I want you to play in a few months at Kennedy Center, and then later on, he said what he wanted us to play. And then when we got there, we did a rehearsal, and the first rehearsal at the green room, I played Wieniawski concerto. I was frozen completely with fear playing for him there, just for him, with the piano. And I tried to go back a little bit. I couldn't. My feet were too frozen, and I just played it and he was just looking at me, and then he was, he was very nice, very kind. Actually, he compared me to some very famous violinist, and then after that we went to play for him the Beethoven Triple. So we come there, we put our music on a music stand, we just did several months. We just learned, we were learning this concerto. We did an Aspen just video, and that was already in September, I think, September or October. I don't remember when we did that. And so Yo-Yo, we were staying all together in. There were only one room at Watergate, so three of us, we shared that room. It was fun, And before that, we stayed at this Johnson. I mean Howard. What? Yeah. Anyway, so Yo-Yo forgot his music. He forgot his music of the Beethoven Triple Concerto. And he just played for him his sounds. It was so beautiful. It was just gorgeous. He played really good. And then he comes there, but he already played this Beethoven Triple for 5 or 6 years. I remember he played even with Shlomo and Fima. They did, a year before, or maybe even. And so he knew it upside and down, and some ways played it incredible. So he said, "Oh, I forgot the music." And so Slava is looking at everybody and said, "Well, can you think you can just play some from memory?" And you said, "I will try." Of course he knew it. I mean, he knew it incredibly by memory, And anyway, so here we are, we're looking at the music, and as we playing, of course, the music. And he just, and Yo-Yo plays. He sounds fantastic, just fantastic. And Slava gets, really, he listens. He's all red, probably excited about the whole thing, And he says, "Can you play without music?" He looks at us, and I say, "No, And he said, "Okay, it's decided. You're all playing without music tomorrow rehearsal, and then the next day performance." Oh God. Oh God, I tell you, Bill, I had a lot of good experiences. I mean, still not enough experiences yet, I mean, I performed with him for several years, but not enough experience. Anyway, so I don't know what to do. I am just so, so scared and just so don't know what to do. And so I called, of course, Miss DeLay. Said, "Miss DeLay, guess what happened?" Said, "What?" "Sugar plum, whatever, I said, he wants us to play by memory. And she said, "Oh, you can do it, Sugar plum." And I'm thinking, God, I have to come tomorrow morning, the next morning, it's afternoon. I have to come the next morning, play the rehearsal, and then following day already do for the 3,000 people, Kennedy Center, your debut, the Ron Wilford was coming to hear it from Columbia, man. I mean, here it is, you live or you die. And for the first time, I wanted to have a heart attack. I thought, what if I would have a heart attack? Then I have an excuse. I don't have to really do this.
Wow.
And anyway, so it went on. So Yo-Yo came, remember, said, "Oh, guys, I'm so sorry, Listen, I'm going to bring the music. I'm going to put the music. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this, So, okay, he said, "I'm going to call right now." He dials the number of National Symphony, said, "Hello," They say, no. I said, and they say, yes, on the other line, I guess. They say, so that's Yo-Yo. How's everything? "Oh, hello," and so it just went, where it started, for some reason, it never came to that. And maybe they didn't have, I don't know, maybe Slava wasn't there, or whatever happened. It never occurred. What occurred was that finally, after all of those fears, we just went to one of the dance studios at the Kennedy Center, me and my brother. For 2 hours, we just went through it. They said, "Yo-Yo, come here." He came, we played it, no problem. The next day we go there. I mean, the kids, I mean, God, it's for, besides, never mind Vinyavsky, have sharp minder. I'm not talking, and I have to start the concert with that.
Right.
Hello. Wow. And here on top of it, so second half, you have to go to do Beethoven Triple Concerto, a trio, which we just started. I mean, I just started to look at this like several months before. I only knew about this concert. I didn't know about Beethoven Triple Concerto. Anyway, and then finally, so we went there, we did it, and it was an incredible experience, especially Beethoven Triple, because by the time it was the after the intermission, you were relaxed, you went there to play, and it was without music. It was such a free, great experience of freedom, making this music with all these wonderful musicians. My brother played great, Yo-Yo played absolutely fantastic, and it was playing this concerto, it was so inspiring. And this, of course, Slava being there, and bringing his energy, just being there, just bring that energy. And at that time, it was his first years at conducting the National Symphony. And let me tell you something. The people were the audience. It was a show. So by the time, by the time he finished, so we played this Beethoven Triple, everybody standing, everybody screaming, that's fine. And has nothing to do with me, believe me. It probably has to do, well, I'm sure it has to be the great piece, but what Slava did, we go back to, and then he kisses the first violinist, and then everybody screaming, we go, then we come back, he kisses the other violinist. By the time he kissed the whole orchestra, even they found the piccolo player who was not playing the Beethoven Triple, I think, but they found it. And that was, so 20 minutes of standing ovations and screams. I tell you, I almost felt like Nureyev.
Oh,
Embarrassing. I mean, just being part of it. Of course, I was not feeling like that, but being part of that, the most wonderful. And I don't want to say circus. I don't want to say that, but it was just an incredible experience.
well,
Just, and so that was one of those, and four nights in a row. Now the thing is, because what happened was just before this concert, because of probably this experience and feeling all this nervousness and everything, I did not sleep for 5 days, 1 hour, because every time I go to sleep, I hear, here I am awake. Bill, I swear, I did not sleep. I did not sleep for 5 days. So it was crazy experience, but I mean, glorious experience. To have experience like that, it's quite amazing experience.
so while you're doing all of this and dealing with Slava, did you ever think that you would be running a series of concerts in New York?
Never. Did I mention never?
So, okay, I read that it was Olga Bloom who
Yes.
started this, I think, in 70.
Absolutely, 77. And I remember I was invited to play some chamber music there. And I tell you frankly, at that time, playing chamber music, it still was not, when you were playing solo concerts and
Right.
you were represented by major management, and you had, you were emerging artist and doing all of those things and getting all of those big dates, whatever that means, I mean, the last thing that the management wanted to do is allow you to play any chamber music, somewhere for the, lesser fees and all, and if you didn't play at Carnegie Hall, you didn't play, at Avery Fischer Hall, if you weren't playing at Stolyarsky Hall, if you didn't do that, they want to make sure. The only thing they were okay, I mean, they were happy I played chamber music with Isaac Stern. I played chamber music with Yoma, I played with Daniel Loreda, we went to Japan, inaugurate the Suntory Hall. So that was put together, with ICM management, and of course, and Jimmy Lin, of course. So we went there, and Maniacs. So that was the whole group for 2 weeks. We were inaugurating the Suntory Hall, of course, playing for them, for the management. I'm sure playing playing chamber music in that surrounding. That was okay with them, because I'm sure they had certain fees and they had certain, it's a certain projects, so-called, that was to put together. So that was fine, of course, but somehow I don't know. I just played, I played. I accepted. They would yell at me, and everything. But I just did, and there were some people who would invite me. Well, Ikwan Bey used to run this place, and I remember he invited me to play, and I came, and I played over the years several times, not too many times, several times. And I remember coming once, doing like a recital because it was something I did at the Metropolitan Museum. I did a recital, and Ikwan said, "Oh, could you come and play, at the bar?" And you know how it works in general, how it used to work. Okay, if somebody played in some place chamber music, and this person, have a solo career, so the other person said, "Oh, if this person played that, then I'm gonna come and play. It's okay too." So that's how it was with the summer festivals and everything. I mean, the same thing happened to you. So that was what's happening. So anyway, I said, you know what? I'll play. I'll come and play a recital there. So I remember I played the recital, and then when I remember Olga well, and that recital was, I don't know when was that recital. God, was that the 80s sometimes? I did anyway. So I came and did the recital, and I remember Olga was sitting there, this woman, and she said, "Welcome to your barge," and I believed it. I welcome to your barge. I mean, she talked like that with everyone, probably, Anyway, and I swear, and all I remember, I didn't remember the view. I mean, it's incredible view. I don't remember the view. But I remember her with this big smile, this incredible welcoming. And then she was turning the pages, and she was throwing all of those compliments at me. And anyway, so at some point, she called me in 90, I think it was 1994 or something. Because I played several times. I would go in the summer sometimes and play. I was invited by some musicians there, some friends. So once in a while I would go out. Maybe I would play once a year there, or something. And then I think she decided she wanted to have like a committee, but the kind of committee that everybody comes. Everybody would have several weeks or so putting together your concert, your programs, and do something like that. Right. And so that's how it happened. That's how it started happening. Wow. And then finally, when she was very persuasive, and like I said, that was, believe me, the last thing on my mind. And then but she certainly was very persuasive. She knew how to get your hands, twist your hands. Yeah.
Did she explain to you how to maintain this barge? How to maintain?
It happened very, very gradual. At first, it was it was like committee. It was like 7 of us putting together a concert. I didn't know anything about what barge, except I knew, it's nice if somebody comes to the concert and they like the way you play and they write a nice check. That's a good thing for the barge. You knew that. That much we knew. That's about it. I didn't know that that it's a boat that it's the most the maintenance of the boat is probably one of the most difficult things to do. And now I understand when people say the first day when you buy it and when you sell it are the happiest days. But one thing, we're not going to sell the barge, so it's that's off limit. But I'm just saying the maintenance of it, the understanding, every wake that comes, how it affects the connections of everything, the way it's connected, the way it's moored at the pier and everything. Oh, I tell you, you have to become a marine. I become practically a marine engineer with all of the stuff that you have to you're responsible for.
Wow.
Just not so many. You have organizations, but having your own venue, it's one thing. I understand this. The building you have to maintain. Have a boiler. You have to maintain, but a barge in a where is it's also moored at the most amazing, the fastest current. There's a current, very, very quick.
So when you're playing, does the music move? I mean, what happens?
Well, music moves, everything moves. But in my case, you see, what in my case, every time I feel the movement, I'm thinking, oh, How did that affect now this piling? How did it affect that connection? How is this working? And who is there? Who just came into the door while I'm playing? You know, you have to be aware. You know, that's what you understand that.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Not right away, not right away, but in time. You know, because she asked me since 2003, really. You know, I mean, officially. You know, I mean, I was, you know, doing things with her. We were partners really at that time. You know, and then around 205 or something, you know, I was giving the title, you know, and by that time, you know, it's like, gosh, you get. I tell you, when I knew kind of that, I was kind of a little hooked on that thing, because you see, for the first time, you're not thinking about yourself in terms of re-engagements. You're not thinking of yourself about it. You're really thinking how you're going to promote somebody else, you know, how you're going to assist somebody else, you know, to promote their career, to present them with such program, and you know that it will be known that it, you know, if the press wants to know, because you know, press always, you know, they look and see what's going on, you know, they're very aware of those things, you know? And so to make sure that it's something maybe they would be interested in, you know, and it's something that the performer loves to perform, and something that the music loves them as well, you know. I mean, there is so many. There is just so many ways to. I mean, some people can be presented, nobody will even remember, you know, how it was, what happened. You
Right.
But if somebody's presented in the right way, the right program, you know, and they love playing this, and the music loves them, and they ready. I mean, it's great for everyone, for the audience, for them, for the critics, for, you know.
So
and yes, please.
no, you were speaking about the repertory. Is there a repertory that you think is good for barge music? And
as far as I'm concerned, for a long time at the barge, you know, it was more of a so-called, you know, the canon of chamber music, you know. And the truth is, look, Bill, I can these days I love playing Bach. I just love playing Bach, you know, and it's. It inspires me so much, and I just know no matter how much I'm going to play and how much I can give of myself to that music, you know, there is so much more to appreciate. And but the thing is about the barge music, you know, we had this incredible evolution of the plays that, you know, there is nothing off limits as far as I'm concerned. Was, you know, we did everything. I used to have jazz programs every Wednesday. You know, I used to have here and now series. I used to have every every Wednesday, every Thursday would be the jazz. Every Wednesday would be here and now series. Only some just contemporary new pieces, you know, and stuff like that. So we had incredible evolution over time, and I always listen to, you know, to the performers. You know, they have to tell me what they would like to play, because look, it's so important if they love what they play.
Right.
And then, you know, I can decide, and then you get ideas. They bring ideas. You bring ideas. It's a wonderful collective, you know, process.
Wow.
Really, but at the same time, I know, since I'm the one who is responsible, you know that I have to make sure. I mean, anybody who comes to play in the barge, you know, I have to okay it. Everything they're going to play, I know I must okay it. And when we used to have sometimes 275 concerts a year. How is that?
Wow.
Sometimes, yeah. I had seasons when I did I did concerts every day at the barge. Wow. I had that too. I mean, I experienced all of that over all of these years. Well, that's how you get so many thousands of concerts, you know, you put together, and being part of it, you know. I mean, not that I'm at every concert physically, you know, it would be impossible, you know.
Right.
But being part of, you know, to know what's going on, what's going on the stage, what is the, you know, who is coming, and a lot of times you get wonderful recommendation from wonderful friends and musicians, you know. And yes, and a lot of times you just hear somebody, and I've been traveling a lot in my life, so I remember a lot of people as well. So it's like, what it is like. I tell you what I loved about the barge, and still do, of course. It's, what, we did not have real agenda. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how old. Some musicians were in their 70s. Some musicians could be 80. Some musicians could be as young as 16. And if they have something to bring, something to give.
Yeah.
If they're good, and there's one thing, that's why we had so many concerts. If they are good, sooner or later, they will be presented at the bar. Because I said so, because we did this, because we are doing it so.
Right.
You see, that's why you have, look, if you have only, you have 5 pianists, for instance, you present, I don't know, maybe 20 concerts a year, you have 5 pianists, and one won, 2 competitions, one only got silver medal, another one plays very, has plays very, I don't know, consistent, very, playing. The other one sometimes gets, nerves, you never know, but when they play great, it's incredible. Okay, so if you only can present one pianist, for instance, who are you gonna get? It's a horrible thing, But here, you have like 200 concerts. I'm gonna present all 10 of them. I present all 20. I can, you see, which is so wonderful. The same thing with violinists.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and at the same time, also, it's not like, oh, I present them only once a year, and maybe people won't come to their concert again. I try to think less about it. So I present them, they can do a recital. They can play in chamber music set, trios, or maybe a quartet, and things like that. So it gives them also great opportunity. And after a while, those people, become, they come a little bit more often performing at the bars. Their names start to get known. There were many people. Many people. I'm proud and grateful to be part of them being on the barge and then becoming, the household name. Many great concert halls.
Yeah.
Many.
Like they become a part of your family in a way.
Well, the truth is they're part of the barge family, because it's much bigger than my family. It's the barge music family. I mean, gosh, I remember, people like. Anyone. You pretty much name it. People from Europe, people from the States, people from anywhere, from anywhere, and playing some very interesting repertoire, playing differently, which is also nice, because everyone is unique, and if they allow themselves to be who they are, it's going to be incredible because it's unique. It's the place is so much more beautiful with that person, that particular any musicians who is going to play beautifully, than without them. It's much poorer. So that's what it is.
So with all of this passion that you obviously show and obviously have for everything, is there any advice that you would feel would be important for someone young who is starting out? Is there anything that you could say to them? And we like on this show, I like to ask that kind of a question. What would you say to someone? Your history, your everything that you've done, your journey is just wow. But it's like it doesn't seem like it was that planned. It was just that love that you showed, that enthusiasm that you showed, the passion that you showed, and then things happen.
Well, I think what it is. Oh God, I think it's important maybe sometimes to think, to feel what is music for? What is the question, like, why am I doing this? Why playing music? Because very well, and I know it's not 3 hours that you practice physically, or 4 or 5 or 7. No, it's you're there 24 hours. You hear things. You get ideas by looking at the river or at the ocean. or at the rain, or talking to someone. I mean, we're talking right now, and I might just, and you might, we just might get an idea of what,
Yeah.
musical idea.
Yeah.
So I think the big question, because I think it takes such a tremendous dedication, but dedication only comes because you have such a great love for it. And if you have that, how can you go wrong? And also it's a very interesting question, what the music is for. Just I think each of us would like to have some kind of a answer. What is music, do we think, does to us and does to others? And I think that can get us through a lot of different adversity times, and the difficult times, and all kind of things, that because it's nothing is totally smooth, it's not that easy. You go through different times. Sometimes people always say either you have too many concerts or you don't have enough concerts. It's never perfect. And I love when people complain, oh, I have so many concerts, and people will go, oh really, I would like to have your trouble.
Some left over. Yeah.
Please give it. You see what I mean? But it's so I think for the young people, if they have that passion, and if they have this inquiring mind again, and they want to know how do you make music? Are there any rules to make music? How do you put together the phrases? I mean, how do you work on the structure? I mean, how do you work harmonically and melodically? What do you know about this composer? Does it remind you? Gosh, I mean, I just heard, I just played this one place in Mozart. Violin concerto number 5. Okay, and I thought for the first time, what? I've heard that Beethoven used it exactly. His piano concerto number 3. Also in his Beethoven triple concerto. The same thing. I mean, really? I mean, it's amazing. So after all these years, now I'm just hearing that for the first time. And I thought, you know what? It's interesting to hear these Beethoven years, because I was thinking, I think, why not have a little bit more Beethoven-esque? I would try. Something like that, yeah? You can have that moment in Mozart concerto now. Why not? And then glorious, But this incredible, the C sharp minor episode, it can be, it can be perceived that way, the way Beethoven kind of perceived, isn't it? What do you think?
Well, I think you've just shown me that enthusiasm that I hope students can find in themselves or learn how to deal with. You just showed me that passion.
Yesterday, it happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. I was on the phone with a friend, and I was playing, and I thought, "Wow, what is that?" And it's But you see, I'm a student. I am a student. I mean, with all my experience, I played probably different 57 or so concertos, with orchestras, or maybe more even. Did a lot of premieres, things. Did some concerto premieres, and today was very funny because I'm sending, there is this Rachel Barton, but she has this foundation. I think they're going into the music. She has this foundation, and they wanted me to send them today debut recording I did of Adolphus Hailstork violin concerto, which he wrote for me. And yes, it's a fantastic piece, really fantastic piece. Wow. Also, I cannot wait because I want to find something of the I want to find the first movement sounds fantastic just with the piano too. It's a really great piece, great piece. I'm surprised that haven't been performed. I did it in 2004, and it just came today. It was very funny. So I mean, look, it's I'm just thinking there is just so much fantastic music, you know, and and I'm a total student when it comes down to this. Look, I play, you know, Bach right now. I played Bach First Sonata for you know how many years of my life, and all the time there is just one note maybe to appreciate more, and you hear it and you feel it, and the whole thing changes. Everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything before and after.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. I mean, gosh, it's quite amazing. Yeah. So so in terms of this this passion, this interest, this necessity, you know, the music. It's a I was thinking, you know, essential. I was thinking, you know, people talk about essential workers, you know, music is essential, you know. I think musicians are essential.
Well,
And so
well,
it's
I think, Mark, that what is really true is that musicians like you are essential. You know that.
oh no,
idea.
first of all, I will only take if I can take you with me. I would love to give you a big hug right now,
Love to go.
because let me tell you, when you were sitting on that stage, and I remember we were all you know, wearing this white jackets, you know, and all this stuff. You were always so elegant. You looked great. You played great. You know, you were always inspiring everybody without saying too much. You know, you were just exactly. You were just laughing. You were laughing. You were saying something very lovely, very loving, sweet, and everybody. Did you feel like that from when we were there? Did you feel from us this energy?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I really did have a wonderful, wonderful time. It was just no, yeah.
It was
Listen, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all.
oh, listen. Thank you. I mean, I mean, I didn't know what we're going to talk about, but like whatever, you know, whatever you like to talk about.
Oh no,
It was
what you
fun
said is
to get.
so great for everyone. So thank you very, very much for being a part.
Thank you, Bill. Wonderful to see you and talking to you.